This is Thomas Pandolfi.
I'm sitting here at this Steinway piano in the Miller Rehearsal Studio at the Sandler Center for the Performing Arts in Virginia Beach. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the piece that's going to be featured, where I'm the guest soloist, Rachmaninoff's Second Piano Concerto. One of the most beloved and popular concertos in the entire literature. What is so fascinating about this piece is that he wrote it after an extreme depression that he went through after the failure of his first symphony. And then he went through some hypnosis, and the doctor that helped him through this and got him in an inspired mood again was actually the gentleman Rachmaninoff dedicated the entire concerto to. Let's listen to a few of the melodies that are featured. First of all, what's fascinating about this piece is that it's in the key of C minor. So generally when a composer begins a piece, he establishes that tonality from the beginning. But Rachmaninoff begins this almost in an improvisatory mood, almost like he's kind of noodling around the piano with some chords and a chord progression, which doesn't start in the home key. We actually start in this F minor key and with a series of chords that ultimately bring us to, which is the home key. Now, Rachmaninoff was fascinated with bells, the sound of bells all his life, probably the most famous example. The C-sharp minor prelude. But even here, these low F notes in the piano that just keep tolling over and over again, ringing forth and leading to a huge climax that establishes the home key, is how this whole concerto begins. Then, I actually, as the piano soloist, don't have the melody at the beginning. The orchestra comes in with very well-known, yet dark, brooding kind of melody, and the piano has all of these arpeggios that sort of accompany and support the orchestra as they're singing forth this melody. Concertos always have two themes that are introduced in the first movement. So that is the first theme. And now we go to something of an entirely different character. This absolutely lush and beautiful theme that almost sounds cinematic. And that is the other theme that Rachmaninoff introduces after that whole opening theme. So we're toying back and forth with those two themes throughout the first movement. Interestingly enough, the piano never gets to play. It's a fascinating compositional technique that Rachmaninoff uses. second movement, which begins also in the key that it doesn't end up being in. He likes doing that in this piece. The orchestra begins with these chords. In a very similar manner to the way the first movement begins. This sort of improvisatory, quiet mood. Which eventually breaks way to the piano entry. And then various instruments in the orchestra will have pop music world, this melody was borrowed by Eric Carmen, and it became a pop song called All By Myself, but it was all really inspired by the second movement. And then the most well-known movement of all, so much so that it was, during the golden age of Hollywood, used in a movie, and Frank Sinatra made the song popular. It was called Full Moon and Empty Arms. And it was this melody from the third movement. Which everybody knows and loves. It's so satisfying to play this on the piano. And of course, the interplay between piano and orchestra. At the very end, we all get to do it. The orchestra is full blown, while the piano So it's a magnificent way to end this piece that is so beloved the world over in almost every pianist's repertoire, and we love to play it for all the reasons that I was speaking about earlier. And I know the audience loves to hear this piece as well, and it ends in a blaze of virtuosity, Rachmaninov, almost as if he's stating his last name as a signature at the end of this epic piano concerto.